Hey guys, how are you today? This is of course the week of the ATP 500 in Beijing, also the ATP 250 in Astana. We're going to be chatting about this match from Beijing though today. Zhou, the 18-year-old Chinese junior, well, I guess he's already finished his junior career probably with the US Open, but recently turned pro, playing against Alejandro Davidovich Fokina. Zhou obviously needed a wild card to get into this one. He also had a wild card to the ATP 250 in Zhuhai, and he will also have one for the qualifying of the ATP 1000 in Shanghai. I was a little honestly disappointed that he did not get a main draw wildcard in Shanghai. I thought his results recently definitely warranted it, or at least maybe not results, performances at least. But well, not he didn't get one. But well, this is a fantastic game. I mean, before I even tell you why I was interested in this match, Ishu just wins the first game on his serve to love. There was a drop shot winner for the love, and also this backhand plus one that he crashed right now. And well, this is sort of precisely why I wanted to see this match. And yeah, Ishu was the third ranked junior in the world this year. He reached the semis in Melbourne, so the Australian Open Juniors, of course, and also the quarterfinals in New York. And basically, you guys probably know that there's this like trope of underpowered Asian juniors, and it's not really a trope. Like physically, there's been a lot of great youngsters who like have great control of the ball, feel for the ball, but then they sort of struggle to find the easy power, the 3 points that you probably should get in tennis, in order to just make things easy for yourself. And even the very successful Asian players, like, I don't know, Nishikori, or right now we have Wu or Watanuki in the top 100. I think maybe Ibink has just fallen out, or like is on the verge of falling out, but still. And all of them, like, even if Ibink, Wu, and Watanuki, and Nishikori as well, I mean, they have insane timing. They also sort of struggle physically and get injured all the time. Then you have, yeah, as I said, these guys who are sort of just cannot really win easy points. Like, I don't know, Tseng, Mochizuki, whatever. Seongchan Hong was a fantastic junior too. And on the other hand, you've got Zhizhen Zhang, who's like the only Asian player who's like, tall, strong, and has a huge serve. And I think Izhu could maybe be like the successor of that. That's how it seems so far. He's 18. There's still so much more that you can get out of his serve and his strokes, but he already has a serious attacking arsenal. And yeah, when did we really see Zhu for the first time on the Pro Tour? I mean, last year he only played 2 matches. I did not watch any of them. I don't think they were even streamed. This year, I think he had a big announcement in the Challenger that was played in Zhuhai, the same courts as the ATP 250, when he beat Filip Sekulic in the second round in like a very long. No, actually, sorry, he lost to Sekulic, right? Yeah, he lost to Sekulic 3-6, 7-6, 7-6, if I remember correctly. And it was like a very long thriller that went until the maybe even the afternoon here, honestly, even though it was in Zhuhai. No, he beat Sekulic. What am I talking about? Of course, he saved match points. I think it were 2 of them. And he beat Sekulic 3-6, 7-6, 7-6. I remember that match very well, but I suddenly couldn't remember who won the third tiebreak. But anyway, yeah, he made the quarters there. And it was a really stunning performance in that second round clash. Sekulic was perceived as one of the favorites for the title, probably. And since then, he has not won a match. However, well, there was one pretty weak loss in Zhangjiagang qualifying, another challenger in China. By the way, he just crashes another +1 winner, this time from the forehand side. And then he had a bit of a break and went to, well, in that break, of course, from pro matches, he played the US Open Juniors. And after that, he went to Davis Cup in Mexico. China played, definitely not the strongest lineup of China. They played Mexico. He played one match against Ernesto Escobedo. He lost it, but it was a pretty tight one. Escobedo, of course, a former top 100 player. And then Izhu went to Zhuhai for the aforementioned ATP 250 main draw wildcard. And he lost to Christian Garin, but it was a great match. He lost in 3 sets. He was cramping hard in the decider. However, I think it was a really good performance anyway. Definitely caught my eye. And I also heard from a Chinese journalist on Twitter that Ben Duzhang, by the way, if you wanna follow him, he has some nice tidbits and info on the Chinese players. And right now, this is a fantastic moment for him. I know he's gained a lot of followers because Chinese tennis is so strong right now. Maybe not necessarily, it doesn't really have a star yet like Nali, but it has two top 100 players on the men's side, which never happened before. Zhina Zhang was the first one who even broke the top 100. And then, of course, Yuncheng Shang can also be huge in the future. On the women's, you have Ziyu Wang, Xin Yuang, Qin Wensheng, Lin Zhou, and etc. But yeah, this guy basically told me that Yizhu only landed in Zhuhai like 15 hours or so before the match. So that was probably part of why he cramped and part of why he couldn't perform at his best in the third set. So I'm hoping for a bit of a better match from him today. Davidovich Fokina is undoubtedly a stronger rival than Garin, and in fact, he has just broken Zhou to go 2-1 up. But I think even winning 6-7 games would be a good result here for the Chinese youngster. Definitely still young, but I think he could have a lot of potential. I'm fairly confident when I say that I believe he should have a pretty strong track of progress. I don't know if in a couple of years, but this is how I sort of assume that people saw Zhi Zhang, when he was coming up. When they saw the impressive physicality and the attacking arsenal. Obviously, Zhi Zhang did not really fully develop his game until 2022. You could even say, but that was also due to the pandemic. And yeah, with the Chinese swing back this year, Yizhu has gotten so many opportunities that he wouldn't have gotten otherwise, right? Zhuhai, Beijing, as I mentioned, Shanghai qualifying is coming up, and also the challengers in Zhangjiagang and Zhuhai. So it's fantastic for these players that they get chances like this, and I think Yizhu is probably the one who's going to benefit of that the most. Before this started, I was also watching this match between Kakhmazov and Mute in Astana, and it's pretty wild because Kakhmazov led 6-3, 5-2 and wasted 6 match points already. Now he's 6-5 up. He managed to win that game at 5-all, which is actually pretty impressive because you could say that Mute is probably going to break him down right now if he's already saved 6 match points. But yeah, he was absolutely the better player for the first hour and a half. So I hope he can actually finish the job off. That would also be his first main draw win. But right now he's receiving some treatment from what I can see at 6-5. And Mute is obviously arguing with the umpire. I don't know about what. I'm obviously going to focus on Iju against Alejandro Davidovich Fokina now. And yeah, Davidovich Fokina is ranked 25th, 20 something right now. He's the first top 100 player that Iju faces because Garin, when he played him, was at 102. So it is a step up. But based on his performance against Garin, I think he could snatch a few games here, and that's what he that's what his aim here for me is. I think if the opportunity sort of arrives, that's when maybe we could think about him winning a set, but let's see how it goes. This was a pretty good defensive point from him, but Davidovich Fokina is eventually there with this nicely hidden drop shot. So 2-1, 15 love for the Spaniard, who is obviously a massive favorite of this clash. The odds on that were basically Świątek against someone levels, which I think is somewhat true. I personally would have them slightly closer, but obviously Davidovich Fokina is the big favorite here. As for Davidovich Fokina, since the US Open, he has only played team competitions, Davis Cup, then Laver Cup, but he's had a few days to get over here from Vancouver, and you can see already that he's playing very, very well. Gets that higher ball, gets that slower ball from Iju on the slice, and then just blasts the forehand winner inside out. We'll see if the people who want Alejandro Davidovich Fokina on the floor, will they get theirs today? Because, well, there's even a Twitter account, I think. Did Fokina fall? And we'll see if they manage to get theirs, and if we see some diving volleys or maybe some defense that he has to fall down for. I'll see what's yeah. There's the Nurlan is in the chat. Yes, fantastic. WTA questions pool. Chinese journalist name. I said it, but maybe I'll say it again. Ben Du Zhang. Um, I think yeah, he's gained a lot of traction on Twitter recently because of the success of Chinese tennis. Rodionov has beaten Barrere in the deciding set tiebreak, says John. That's also Astana. That's a bit of a well, given that Barrere was up by a set and playing really well at the beginning, I think it was a bit of a disappointing loss for the Frenchman, but probably the Astana conditions a little too slow for his taste. Even though he's an indoor god, Nurlan over Raducanu. Yeah, something like that. But I think Bendu is written, without a space. Or did you see our Raducanu video, Nurlan? I don't think I did. Personally, we'll see if Nurlan has. Anyway, let's see if the Chinese youngster can keep going like he did in the opening game of the match where he started out to love, or will he get broken again? 12 minutes on the clock as we arrive in the fifth game. Oof, that's a rough plus one backhand. He just didn't really set up for it too well. Could see that the footwork wasn't quite there. But that's probably the sort of ball that you wanted to get, so we'll be disappointed there, but a big serve gives him the point here. I would love to see how quite big it is. Can I see the speed gun, please? I don't think it was like a particularly strong one. I mean, it was out wide. Yeah, I don't think I can really 176 or something. Probably down the tee, he can serve over 200 already, I would assume. This second serve was really nice as well. Davidovich Fokina had to was out of position already and had to go for a huge return down the middle, which he missed. Kakhmazov and Mute going to the tiebreak. So, I mean, again, I would assume that if Kakhmazov doesn't win the set, then the match is over. Given that all the momentum is going to be on Mute's side. In the meantime, Zhou tries to approach the net after his serve and gets a very tough ball from Davidovich Fokina. Has to pick up a half volley of his feet and is unsuccessful at that. I'm gonna make myself a bit more comfortable, I guess, since we might be here for a long time and we also might be here for an hour. That's the thing, I guess, with very lopsided matches in terms of who's the favorite. Did anyone see Novak on the golf course? I saw something, but I'm this much of a golf layman that when someone on Twitter said that like Novak hit the green from however many yards, I think it was maybe 260, and that it's insane that he did that. I've never played golf like other than maybe some mini. I don't think I've even played mini golf. Like I've had a golf course, sorry, golf club, of course, not golf course. I've had a golf club in my hand, but I've never really played it. So I'm this much of a layman where I couldn't really even tell if that's impressive or not. But yeah, I mean, I've watched some golf on TV though, and I did find it pretty entertaining. Just basically seeing how the guys produce their shots and then where the ball lands and then they get there and whether they will hit or not. I found it pretty entertaining. Oh, that's a point that Zhou absolutely should be winning. He again had Davidovich Fokina surprised by that second serve out wide, a little bit of a sliced one, and then he gets this +1 back and even easier than the previous one in the first point of this game. And he nets it, even though Davidovich Fokina was still very wide out of the court. And Davidovich Fokina will break again. So 4-1 up now. I think Zhou had a Yeah, he had a game point here, right? Do you think Radu is the most unexperienced player in the history of WTA? I mean, it is just unreal, you know. I mean, inexperienced as in winning a slam. I mean, probably, right? No one has ever done that as a qualifier. Has anyone ever really done that in? I mean, there have been players who have done it at an age that was maybe lower than Raducanu's, right? So I don't know. I guess we would have to check like in terms of these players winning slams at 15 or 16, what they were doing before they actually won the slam, how many pro events they had already. But yeah, obviously it's a story that will be mentioned in tennis like forever because it's so hard to repeat a feat like that, and it has never happened before, and it might not happen again. Honestly, it wouldn't be a shock if this never happens again. You know, to win 10 straight matches to get a slam, all without dropping a set, right? I think that would pretty much be almost impossible to repeat. I think that this is probably, you know, that's why we will be talking about it for such a long time, and also that's why we could say that, you know, I don't know if it's the right way to express it, like that she is the most inexperienced player in the history of the WTA, but like, you know, the story is definitely quite unreal. I think other another record that won't be beaten is Talon Grigspor's 8 challenger titles in a year, and that's for a very different reason. I mean, it is hard to pull off, undoubtedly, but like right now with the point system, with how the rankings work, if you win at least, I don't know, even 6 challenger titles, you're probably not going to be playing challengers anymore. And Talon Grigspor naturally was still playing it because of the ranking freeze. So this is a different case. This is a record that I don't think will be broken, but that's because of a rule change. That's like the world record in javelin throw, right? It was you know, the weight of the javelin was changed, and the construction of it, and that's why it's like probably never gonna be broken. But in terms of Raducanu, it is something that is theoretically plausible. It's just not really achievable for most players. I mean, starting from the qualifying, winning a slam, and in such dominant fashion as well. And I am still on that team that thinks Raducanu can be back if she sorts out her injury issues. I don't know if to a slam winning level, but to like a top player on the WTA level. But there's a lot to there's a lot to I mean, there's a lot that can work out for her, that has to work out for her there. What are the crowds like in China, and is tennis getting bigger? Audiences. Djokovic has never won 8 challengers in a year. Yeah, and Talon Grigspor also holds the record now for the biggest challenger win streak of 30, and it's in fact it's still active. So when Talon Grigspor has to drop down to a challenger, watch out for that, because he won 25 matches at the end of 2021, and then he also won Amersfoort in 2022 in July. Um, I don't understand what's ear or air. Is it year or year? What? I don't really get. I don't really get it. But what are the crowds like in China? Do they show? Did they show me the crowd? I mean, usually they weren't that big, right? Like even though there should be more popularity and there's definitely a lot of money involved in Chinese tennis. Wow, that's a fantastic passing shot from Zhou, open stance forehand. He actually only had to hit it because he hit a poor drop shot, but still, why not? Anyway, yeah, I would say that the crowds in China, generally speaking, weren't that amazing, right? There were these years as well when the WTA hosted the WTA finals, and I think not many people were coming. But you know, it's a process. I mean, they have players right now who can potentially bring money, bring viewers, bring the audience. Needless to say, China can be a huge market if even 20% of the 1 billion population start to watch tennis. I mean, that's not possible, 20%, but you know what I mean. But yeah, I think it's mostly like a money deal rather than actual massive interest in China. Although the interest in China is there. Like when they played some exhibitions there, or I don't know, I know the like the biggest stars of the ATP tour, the WTA tour, they're definitely huge in China as well. So I don't know. Um, I'd have to see a bit more, a few more shots at the crowd to see if there's anyone on the Zhou Davidovich Fokina match. From the main angle, we only see like 10 rows of seats, and they are pretty, like they aren't full, but that's probably like the VIP stand, so that could happen. Anyway, Zhu has 2 game points to get the second game in the set. Big serve just a second ago. So far, I mean, he's mostly winning points with his serve, not much else, but he is looking adequate, I would say, for his age, for where he is in the sport at the moment, for who he's playing as well. And Kakhmazov has just wasted 2 more match points, but now I think has the first one on his own serve. This is the ninth match point already, and I mean this is the first one that he's had on his serve. So you would hope, that he gets that he gets it done, because this is getting like getting into legendary territory, and he actually gets it with an unreturned serve. So and I think that was pretty good mental composure too, because with how ridiculous some of these match point saves were from Mute, the drop volley that he hit, the one where he lobbed Kakhmazov twice, that I think it was really easy to sort of just go down there and lose it, but he actually didn't. And it's wild too that it's Kakhmazov who gets a main draw win this year. I mean, main tour win this year, because he's played 17 challengers this year and he hasn't even been past the second round. Most of the time, he's losing in the qualifying. But he's chosen to play qualifying in Chengdu. He's chosen to play qualifying in what's the event? Of course, Astana, and he gets the rewards. So good for him. And yeah, let's see what Iju can do here with the sort of no pressure 2-5 return game. If Davidovich Fokina holds, then it would be again the Chinese youngster starting the second set, so that's a little nice for him, I guess. But obviously, there's still potential here. Again, that sort of backhand cross court sloppy footwork and just completely mistimes it. It's like the fifth error like this that we see from the Chinese here. But again, I mean, I have to note this again. Even if this is a 6-60 win for Davidovich Fokina, these are the sort of experiences and opportunities that you want as a talented youngster like Iju, right? Obviously, it would be great to win this match. He does get a very nice point here with this pretty clutch stop volley. My stream lagged for a moment, so I didn't see if Davidovich Fokina got to it, but no, he did not. He didn't get it before the second bounce. So we're at 15-0, and yeah, just sort of come out there, play freely, play your tennis, and in the long run, this is gonna give you something for sure. This probably isn't the year where Iju is really thinking about ranking points yet. That probably comes next year. I would assume. I think next year is where he will want to be successful on the ITF grind. Then of course get more opportunities in the Chinese swing, because I think he's clearly the most interesting Chinese player at the moment when it comes to just under 20s, let's say. I mean, I'm not talking about Yun Cheng Shang, because he's obviously better, but Yun Cheng Shang is at a different level. Yun Cheng Shang could get into qualifying with his ranking here. He doesn't have to play qualifying because he gets a wild card, but I'm basically skipping him from the conversation because he's already so much higher in the rankings. And that's a very quick 6-2 set for Davidovich Fokina. So I said earlier that we might be here for a long time, and we might also be here for like an hour. And well, both results are looking pretty likely right now. Probably the one with about an hour is the one that seems more possible. 25 minutes only in the set. So we'll see. And yeah, just maybe speaking a bit on Kakhmazov beating Mute, if you're surprised by it, I think to an extent you should be. Yeah, as I said, Kakhmazov is not getting any challenger runs this year, but I mean his strokes definitely have gotten a lot more pop on them recently, and he did very well to expose the one-hander of Mute because still. Corentin Moutet, since his injury, he is still hitting a one-handed backhand, which basically means hitting like 90% slice, and you can approach to that wing because nothing dangerous is coming at you. I mean, I can even point out 2 points in this one against Kakhmazov against Mute, where there was a drop shot from Mute, and Kakhmazov did not get to it in time. Like he just played a very poor get, just had to lift it, and he just placed it at the Mute backhand. Mute had the open court, and he nets that routine, theoretically routine +1, I mean +1 pass, backhand pass. I think he actually should have sliced it. Honestly, I think even a slice would have made it through. Like Akhmazov would not have enough time to catch it. Also, there was this point where Kakhmazov just, well, there were many points like this, but usually when Kakhmazov would approach, Mute would still slice it. But at one point, he was like, okay, I have to try to hit this topspin pass. And he just plays a very, very conventional down the middle pass that Kakhmazov has nothing to do with, like has nothing to struggle with there. So that's basically what I would say is the main issue with Muta. And I think if you're like a pretty smart player tactically, you're gonna spot it instantly. Liam Brody, friend of the show, the recent top 100 breakout. He did it in whatever match I commented on, Washington maybe against Muta, right? He was also approaching to the Muta backhand constantly and getting the easy slice responses, and it's sad. I do have a certain feeling of sympathy for Muta because he basically got that injury when he was playing some of the best tennis of his career. Wow, that's a massive +1 forehand from Zhou. I didn't think he had to play it like this, but well, he did. And this is really into the this plays into the Zhi Zhang comparison. But anyway, yeah, Liam Brody also did it very well. Year on year, growing every year. I can't really answer that. I think someone who pays more attention as to how it is in the crowds could, but I don't really have the knowledge on that. Are Beijing courts super fast? I think they are, although Shanghai, as John says, was usually faster. Was it the fastest court on tour, or was it just I mean hard court, or was it just ATP, the fastest ATP 1000? But yeah, generally speaking, the Asian swing is very fast every year. Um, Astana, on the other hand, despite being an indoor hardcourt, is rather slow. But that's not. I mean, the Asian swing. When I mean the Asian swing, I'm mostly talking about Japan, China. Typically Astana, is like more of a. Well, it was at a different date. Perhaps that's why it wasn't really called the Asian swing. Also, it was not held when China and when it was first held in 2020, China didn't have any ATP events because that's why. But yeah, Chinese events always very fast, whether it be challengers, Shenzhen, Jinan, Liuzhou that we had in the past, Ningbo, or be it ATP Tour events. And this was looking like a very easy game for Zhu, but he's made a mess of it with the double fault and now a very like a net approach that I felt like he didn't have that much confidence in. And whenever Zhu has been at the net today, I have to give credit to Davidovich Fokina for giving him some low dipping passes as well. And this was another one of them. Now Zhu has to like keep the ball inside the court a little bit in this rally. Tries to unleash on the forehand, but he nets it. So from a very easy game, we are at deuce. OMG, how much Damien talks today. I mean, this is basically what we do when we have a solo stream, right? When we have a stream for 2 or 3 people, then we sort of can then we can sort of split the burden of talking. But right now I have to entertain you constantly. which I don't mind. It is easier to do it definitely like with someone, but I don't mind the solo streaming at all either. It's definitely more like it requires more attention as well because there's no one to cover for me if I don't know if I start tweeting or if I just lose my focus for a moment, right? So if we want to like keep this going and there's like no breaks of let's say over half a second, because this obviously isn't TV commentary either, we're not showing the stream. Ah, Iju with another seven volley approach. And yeah, again, lots of credit, I guess, to Davidovich Fokina for the tough return. Is he just expecting these, or is he hitting these returns just sort of, I don't want to say accidentally, but the kick from Iju makes him hit a return like that? I think probably the latter. But another unreturned serve. So basically, as I said in the opening set, the 18-year-old is sort of hoping just for the serve to win him the game. Most of the time, he is struggling to win points otherwise. But he has another game point. I think this is the fifth one already. Will he approach the net again, or will he not have to? Will it be a great first serve? It is a great first serve, but he will have to play the points. And this is a good drop shot, probably. He should be winning. No, I mean, yeah, he totally wasted that. This was a very similar drop shot technique to the one that he had in the first game of the match. It was, I think, maybe the third point for Foryalov. This time, Davidovich Fokina catches it. And yeah, that's simply not how Iju should have played this one. Just plays it down the middle, sort of hoping that that Davidovich Fokina running through the net won't catch it. He does with a good reaction. I think it was, that there was a certain degree of luck in it as well. However, the reflex volley is there. He makes it. He lands it very close to the line as well, with no chance for Iju to catch it. And this time, Davidovich Fokina wins this point that was sort of set up with a big return. So after 5 game points for the Chinese youngsters, we finally get a break point for the Spaniard as well. Big serve, and he should have this point. Will he? Yes, he does. You could argue that he played this forehand into the direction where Davidovich Fokina was running. He certainly did. However, it was still good enough for the Spaniard not to make the pass this time. Yeah, we can. I mean, after like 33 minutes, we can already see that the weaponry is surely there. Obviously, it's a very raw type of game so far from the Chinese youngster. Wow, that's a very brave drive volley. It was one of these points where like you get a good serve in, but then the opponent actually just puts a racket on it and gives you a very tricky return. However, good shot from the Chinese youngster, and like technically he is super sharp, and you could see it here. But he just cannot close out this game, can he? Davidovich Fokina's return barely goes over the net, and Zhou tries to slice approach, but it's a complete floater, and he misses it along. But yeah, anyway, I was talking about Zhou and the fact that you can see that the weaponry is there. It's very raw. He cannot really keep the ball in play, like let's say over 10, 5-10 shots with Davidovich Fokina. He goes for basically every single shot with full power. But it's the sort of game that I think in a few years could definitely lead to something. And that Xi Zhenzhang comparison that people have been sort of throwing around, I think it's definitely there. Is he quite as tall as the Chinese? Probably not. Well, he's also Chinese. As his countrymen, probably not. But he definitely has like a stronger physicality than most Asians, and probably a similar game style in the future. In the future, that's how it looks. Another breakpoint for Davidovich Fokina here, but Zhu likes these inside-out forehands. Will they win him the point? I think they eventually will, because Davidovich Fokina just misses the pass, but the forehand approach was definitely not good enough. And you could like feel that basically every point I'm criticizing Iju for something, and it is the case. I mean, he is definitely lacking some shot selection experience, rally tolerance, but I like the potential of this guy, definitely. Ooh, that slice barely. I mean, barely doesn't go over the net. You know, it clipped the net. It clipped the net cord. It did, but it didn't go over. Um, yeah, Jane up. I'm actually surprised that sometimes we stream at like 1 p.m. in Europe, and then we still have the American followers. But actually overslept. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Jake Silk, as usual. My stream lagged again for a second, but I think it was another volume miss from Ishu. So I don't think if I don't know if I want to rewind to it because I've already seen some painful ones. Okay, this wasn't painful. It was just a good pass from Davidovich Fokina again, forcing the Chinese to hit this from below the net, which, as we know, is not the ideal contact point. And we have the third break point for Davidovich Fokina. Can Zhou save himself? They're trading forehands cross court. Zhou makes the switch. Again, hitting with really nice power down the middle, but it's not really doing that much damage to Davidovich Fokina. And this was some elite movement from the Spaniard as well. Very quickly from the backhand corner, running around, hitting the great inside out forehand, and Zhou cannot get it back into play. So we already have a break in the second set, but at least this game was very long. So, you know, it will keep me here for a bit of a longer time, possibly. But yeah, I'm still hoping that Zhou can get a few more games in. He was obviously 40 love up here, and he had like what, 6 game points, 5 game points. I cannot remember if it was 5 or 6 at the moment. Let me check that actually. He had 3 at first, then 5, and I think then one more, right? Yeah, I think it was 6 game points. So far, Zhu, I mean, the main problem, I guess, other than the fact that he's barely winning points that aren't like fully set up with his serve, he's also not doing anything on return, right? And that's a correlation that is very clear to see as well. I mean, he's only really winning points when the serve sets him up for it, and when it's Davidovich Fokina on serve, it's much trickier, especially when the serves are as good as this ace right now from the Spaniard. And so far, Davidovich Fokina has not lost a single point on first serve, only 2 on second serve as well. So he is dominating his service games for sure. And I know I've mentioned this a few times already, but like the biggest thing I guess here is, and that's both for Iju and also for us as viewers, is to not to get discouraged by this. He is playing a ridiculously good player who once back in the day was also a very talented junior, and once back in the day was also a promising guy who was expected to be good, but at first he maybe wasn't. And that's a great drop shot from Davidovich Fokina as well. He goes very low up. This is actually also like the first time that we fully see, I think, Davidovich Fokina in the main tour Asian swing, because back in the day he used to play some tennis in Asia. He definitely had appearances in Liuzhou, Shenzhen, Jinan, the Chinese challengers at the end of the year. I think he even won one of them, probably Liuzhou, 2019. And but yeah, basically back in the day when we had the full on Asian swing, so China, Davidovich Fokina was still not a top player yet, so he was mostly playing on the Challenger Tour. So yeah, this is basically the first time he's playing in Asia, but the conditions should suit him, right? I mean, probably. But so far, he's playing a very good match. Obviously, he has a very raw and inexperienced opponent, but I think he has done like precisely what he has needed to do. There's no screwing around, if you may, which Davidovich Fokina can do. He's just sort of confident that he's going to win, I think. I think we haven't really seen like even a slight amount of doubt in him, and he's just doing what he should. And that's another one of these backhand drop shots from Zhou. He sort of leans backwards on them and then slices it off the backhand side down the line. This is like the third drop shot that we've had from him this match. That's precisely in that direction and off that wing. I think this one was probably the one that was the least easy to predict. Maybe along with the one in the first game, and yeah, seems like he has some a nice pattern there. Davidovich Fokina didn't even start to it there. This one was with more side spin than backspin, even than the previous two, and it was definitely quite a stunning shot. Davidovich Fokina getting a few more returns in now, though, so this will not make it easier for Zhou to keep winning points. But he does. I stuck my finger in an electrical outlet here. That's interesting. What? What's going on, Nunan? Do you agree with the following below? 2 Lin Zhu, 3 Qin Wen Zheng? And where's number 1? But I mean, if you're trying to argue that Lin Zhu is better than Qin Wen Zheng, I mean, they're playing the Asian Games final tomorrow, so I guess we have a chance to check it out. But I think in the long run, definitely Qin Wen has more potential. Does winning junior slams usually translate to winning a professional slam? No, I would say definitely not. We have Stan Wawrinka from like maybe the past 20 years that who has won a junior slam and then went on to win a slam in the in the seniors. Otherwise, I think maybe Stan Wawrinka is the last junior slam champ actually. Well, Murray also had one, so maybe Murray was after Wawrinka. And I might be forgetting about someone. Maybe and Zhou, by the way, gets the first game on the board in the second set. Marin Cilic as well. I think all of these are probably similar age, right? But Wawrinka, Murray, Cilic. I mean, these are the guys who won junior slams most recently, and then went on to win a single slam. But that's also another problem, right? The big four, they sort of just covered, including Murray, of course, they sort of just covered all of the slams. And there was no one who could really step up and take them. But however, I will pull up the list and I will tell you how many just reached the finals, maybe, since Cilic, Murray, Wawrinka, right? Yeah, so let me see. Cilic is actually the most recent junior Grand Slam champ, 2005 French Open, who also went on to win a slam in the pros. However, has anyone ever reached the final since? I don't even know. I mean, Sasha Zverev, yeah, we've got one. Nick Kyrgios as well. Rublev, I guess, potentially maybe could make a slam final in the future. I don't think it's likely, but he could. Davidovich Fokina, well, not yet, but I just want to point him out because he is in this match, right? Holger Rune, I mean, he's probably winning slams in the future, right? But yeah, that's really it. So since 2005, since the 2005 French Open, only Zverev and Kyrgios have reached slam finals. So that's not an amazing record, definitely not. Previously, we had Roddick, Federer. Who else won slams? Even in the 80s and 90s, honestly. Just Edberg, Pat Cash, McEnroe, Lendl, Borg, Orantes, Newcomb, Rosewall. So back in the day, maybe it was a bit more frequent. But let's say since Stefan Edberg won the golden, the curry, how do you call it? The golden slam? No, not the golden slam. The calendar grand slam in juniors in 1983. Since that, so since 1984, We've only had, I think, five junior slam champions who went on to win a professional slam, and that would be Federer, Roddick, Murray, Wawrinka, and Cilic. Yes. So as you can see, it is not. It is definitely not frequent. Marcelo Rios as well won one, and he didn't win a slam, but he was the world number one, which I think are sort of. I mean, these are achievements I think that we can sort of put like next to each other probably. Davidovich Fokina wins this great point for 40 love. For wrong foots, Zhou completely with the backhand down the line. Again, he's just and Zhou even claps him with the racket, and in appreciation, we can see again that there's just really not much that Zhou can do when he doesn't have the serve advantage. But Davidovich Fokina loses the next point, which I think will be the first one he loses on his first delivery, as he shanks a forehand. Yes, absolutely. That's just the third point he lost on serve in the entire match as well. Iga will finish the year as number 5 behind Saba, Riba, Pegula, Coco. Do you mean 2024 or 2023? Because I think for 2023, this is basically unachievable at the moment. Because you have her 1,400 points ahead of Goff, 1,500 ahead of Rybakina, and also 2,500 ahead of Pegula. So there's not enough points to gain. It's possible that one of these could possibly catch her with a WTA finals win and also maybe Beijing or Tokyo. But yeah, basically there's not enough points for all three of them to do that. And the ranking, by the way, that I was mentioning was the WTA race, so just points for this year is what I'm talking about here. That's why. Oh, by the way, David Fokina and Zhou are now at deuce. So Zhou lost this first game of the set when he was up 40 love, and maybe now Davidovich Fokina will do the same. Who knows? There was a drop shot again from Zhou, which was this one. This one was a bit different, but again backhand down the line. But Davidovich Fokina missed the slice approach, and then he made another forehand miss. And by the way, this is, I guess, the first moment when we see Davidovich Fokina, just sort of screwing around, and like not in the fact that he isn't really serious, but yeah, he just makes 3 random forehand unforced errors in a row, and actually he makes 4 as Zhou breaks back. That's weird. I mean, it's not really that weird, but that's sort of Davidovich Fokina, I guess, for you right there. But yeah, he was basically perfect until this game, until 40 love in this game even, and then he made these 3 unforced errors of the forehand, and this one of the backhand, I guess, was maybe on the verge of being unforced, but still, just a very poor patch of play. The last 5 points essentially. So let's see if Zhou can keep it going and actually get ahead on the scoreboard, which would be just for the second time in this match. In the first set, he was 1-0 up. Maybe here he can go 3-2 up. Yeah, Nurlan, if you're talking about 2023, that's not possible right now. Just mathematically, it doesn't make sense. Um, and yeah, the ranking I was mentioning was WTA race because that's just the 2023 points. But 2024, if you want to claim that, that's a prediction we can accept. I don't know. I don't think it will happen, but that's a prediction we can accept. And Jane said Iga right, which I think was about junior slams. Yeah. Yeah, I was just talking about the boys, but I think on the women's side it is happening a lot more often, and this is due to the fact that well, how biology works, right? When you're 17 and you're male, you are not yet fully like grown up in the biological sense, right? And when you're a woman, basically you are. So players who succeed at a young age in women's tennis can very often just instantly transfer it to the Pro Tour, whereas on the men's it's not really doable. So from that very same time frame, 1984, we've had Sabatini, Capriati, Hingis, Moresmo, Justine Davenport, Bartoli, Azarenka, Wozniacki, Barty, Halep, Ostapenko, Goff, Świątek. Yeah, that's basically it in recent years. So you can see that there's like twice as many, probably. So there is a big difference. And in recent years, of some women who also made finals, we had Pliskova, Jabeur, um, Benji didn't, but maybe she will in the future. Kasatkina could maybe make a final. Badosa maybe could make one. Potapova maybe, who knows? Anisimova, did she make a final? Or no, that was a semi, right? But still, she went deep at the slam. Maybe Clara Towson is still possible. Leila Fernandez as well made a Bouchard. Yeah, so basically on the women's side, this is a lot more frequent. And I think, yeah, it's precisely because junior tennis on the women's side is much closer to the seniors. But Zhou did not hold, so we are at 3-2. I will quickly rewind maybe to see like 2 points at least. It was 30 all, and then he tried another one of these backhand droppers, but he actually missed them. He actually missed it. It was exactly the same technique as a few of these that we've seen already. And then he had a +1 forehand that he just missed, but it was a good shot, I think. It was the right shot to hit there. It wasn't like he had a lot of open space, and it wasn't like he could have afforded to hit like a shot with maybe a less margin. Someone is on my screen, and I mean they are clearly saying that I should know who it is with the way they panned the camera on him. And sort of answering Sean's earlier question, I think, or was it Matthew? No, it was Matthew, right? Sean showed up later. I think it was Matthew who asked about the Chinese crowds. Yeah, I think there's not that many actually. Not that many people here. I have some wider shots of the stadium now. What else did we have in the charts? Azerbaijan, Armenia. I don't really have an opinion on that. Nagorno-Karabakh, I think I know what that is, but I also don't really have the historical and geographical knowledge. But Nurlan probably does as a person from that region of the world. 3-2 up, Davidovich Fokina. Other than that sloppy 2-1 game, was it? Yeah, 2-1 game in this set. As I said, I mean, Davidovich Fokina has been pretty much spotless. Has he been made to work that hard? Probably not. But yeah, there was just one sloppy streak of 5 points. Now he's having Zhou on the move and lands this backhand down the line as well. This is great placement. You didn't really have a sense of any of his shots in this rally like being risky, you know. Every single time he gave himself a lot of margin. You could argue that the last shot was actually like almost on the line, but it still felt very, very safe and sort of more of a result of how he worked Zhou around the corners in the previous 3 or 4 strokes. That's I guess exactly the sort of point that you want to play against a player like this. Never give him a comfortable ball to attack, but just keep him sort of not necessarily running from corner to corner, but just on the move. Just keep hitting, keep making him hit from like slightly out of position. And another good serve from Davidovich Fokina gets him to 4-2 up. So this is one of the key games here for Zhou for sure. If he goes down 2-5, double breakdown, definitely not gonna like his chances to come back. if he keeps himself within one breakaway, maybe he can rely on Davidovich Fokina having one more mishap, one more just moment when he loses his mind a bit. Who is winning Tokyo? Asks Nurlan. Let me look at the draw. Um, Świątek Kudermetowa, Świątek Pawliuczenkowa, Aleksandrova. The last few times that Świątek played Kudermetova, she crushed her, and then I mean, I guess she doesn't really have a seed in the semis, but both Pavlyuchenkova and Alexandrova probably could be dangerous. Alexandrova is a rough matchup for Świątek, and Pavlyuchenkova, even though she lost to her recently with a double bagel, right, on clay, here it could be different. But I mean, Świątek to reach the final is pretty likely. And then you have Kasatkina Pegula. Pegula, what sort of matchup does she have against Kasatkina? I don't really know. Not just one match, so we don't really have much intel on that. Garcia Sakari, I think maybe even Sakari, she's just won Guadalajara. She should be like just fuming with confidence. Um, so yeah, maybe I would back Sakari. Why not? She crushed Garcia in Guadalajara. This is very different conditions, but she seems to have adapted well already. She defeated Misaki Doi in the final match of the Japanese's career. Ooh, that's a nice second serve from Zhou, but Davidovich Fokina steps into it and blasts a backhand return down the line. But still 40-15 up. He was 40 love, just like in the first game of this set that he lost. So he will be hoping to avoid a repeat here. Does he? Second serve. It's a nice kicker, but they are playing a neutral rally now. Trading backhands. It's Zhou again who changes up the direction first. And Davidovich Fokina sort of has him where he wants him, it seems, but we'll see if he can maintain it. Zhou right now getting some pretty good shots back in, I would say, but it's not enough to trouble Davidovich Fokina. It's just not. And the first very deep shot from the Spaniard eventually gets Zhou into trouble. So just one more game point. And usually you would say, it's still comfortable, 40-30 on serve, but I just have this memory of the first game of the set, right? When Zhou was 40 love up and yeah, did not finish it off. But, he could use a good serve, definitely. Will he get it? Mm, that was an interesting point. From my perspective, it kind of looked like it might be let, but it wasn't. It was a very slow serve out wide from Zhou, but like it was slow on sort of on purpose, it seems. To throw out Davidovich Fokina out of the court, but then really being really wide out of the tram lines. Even Davidovich Fokina finds this backhand return down the line. Actually, second in a row, second backhand return winner down the line for Davidovich Fokina here. But I sort of as Zhou, I think you should have expected it really. But anyway, he has a 200 kilometers, 207 actually even serve down the middle here at Davidovich Fokina. If you're American or just like the miles system, it's probably like 128 ish or something like that. Definitely over 125 because I think that's about 200 in kilometers. And that's another huge serve down the tee. So no, it's not in. Really? I mean, maybe it was a let this time. I'm watching this with no sound. Yeah, I think it must have been a let, but this time I didn't really see it. Another backhand drop shot from Zhou, and yeah, that's just not a good reaction. He, after he played that drop shot and sort of saw that there's no way Davidovich Fokina slams it, he should have been closer to the net. He should have been there already, and he should have been waiting to intercept it. He didn't, and lost the point. My stream lagged. I saw a good serve out wide from Zhou, but probably the kind that Davidovich Fokina would return, although I see that he has not. as Zhou claims this point as well. So fifth game point. I really hope this is not a repeat of the opening game of the set. Yeah, my stream has now lagged like completely. I saw a few frames from the match, not the actual points. Has the Talking Tennis stream lagged? Probably not. Oh, hey, Keen. Emails will have to wait until lunch. I mean, honestly, this match is probably not gonna be not gonna last for that much longer, right? However, Zhu wastes his fifth game point of this match already, of the set, sorry, and this is really going towards that 1-0 game of this set territory. As unfortunately, he looks like he is about to do it again. Yeah, especially as he cannot find this ridiculous pass. And Davidovich Fokina will have a breakpoint here. Yeah, 40 love up both in the 1-0 game. Yeah, one love game, and also here 4-2. Oh no, it was actually the first game of the match. Sorry, first game of the set that he was 40 love up, and here as well 40 love up. And it looks like again he might actually get broken from that sort of position, so that's not ideal. Maybe he finds a big serve again. Maybe he saves himself. Who knows? It's big-ish. It's big-ish, but I don't think it's. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Back to Deuce. He is briefing kind of heavily as well. That last point, the break point, really seemed to have taken a lot out of him. So a huge serve that Davidovich Fokina cannot return was definitely exactly what the doctor ordered for the 18-year-old Deuce. And a second serve. Ooh, and Davidovich Fokina really had him again where he wants him, but misses the backhand kill. So six game point for Zhou, and like, come on, take it. Not that not that I have anything against Davidovich Fokina, but obviously I just want the youngster to come out with a respectable scoreline. I want him to feel that he did well, and to use that experience to really hit the Pro Tour in 2024. I had to think for a moment which year we have right now. Another second serve. It's a fairly tentative kicker. I don't know if he can really win a neutral rally, but maybe Davidovich Fokina makes an error again. Who knows? Yeah, just upping the pace down the middle does nothing to Davidovich Fokina, That's some good side spin from Zhou, but that's not going to be enough to win the point either. As Davidovich Fokina has a nice forehand deep counter, and he shanks the next forehand. Six game point already, yeah. Tries to unleash down the line. We've had a few of these neutral rallies when like Zhu at some point just accelerates really nicely down the middle, but it does nothing to Davidovich Fokina, which of course is something that we should give credit to the Spaniard. Good serve from Zhu, but the return gets Davidovich Fokina back into the point. Chinese youngster goes into the net, but this is not, yeah. Again, the approach shot isn't good enough, and Davidovich Fokina can get a good pass. I said earlier that maybe the Twitter account did Fokina fall will get theirs in this match. And actually, if there was a Twitter account did Iju fall, which I think there isn't, but we could always check. That Twitter account would get a screenshot or maybe even a video of Iju falling while trying to catch this Davidovich Fokina pass. Yeah, this serve wasn't even that good from the Chinese. That's a nice angle backhand cross court though. Inside in forehand is good as well, but He should have been in position there. He ran around it. He hit it. He hit it pretty deep, but then just didn't make the couple of steps back towards the middle of the court. And Davidovich Fokina is so fast to cover that corner, blast his counter. And 5-2, so Davidovich Fokina will get at least 2 chances to serve for this match. And given how his games so far have gone, you would expect him to get it done. But that's 2 games already where Zhou had 6 game points, right? Because I think he had 6 game points again, and he doesn't take them. 5, 6, yeah, absolutely. It's actually a very similar pattern to the previous game where it happened. So 40 love up, then 2 more game points in a row, then a break point for Davidovich Fokina, then a game point for Zhou, and only difference was like how many breakpoints then it took for Davidovich Fokina to get it done, but still. Do you think pros normally tank the point when 40 off down to get ready for their service game? I mean, it depends. I think it happens that you're 40 off down and you sort of hit, with less pressure, you just sort of try to go for more. That's what probably happens. But like straight up tank, very rarely, probably. One very famous example of tanking a return game was definitely Nadal Federer, right? 2019 Wimbledon, the second set, and how at 5-1, Federer just tried to play like a saber, tried to play like stepped forward into the court for Nadal's serve, like really, really forward, and never had any chance of really getting it back. And that was a pretty famous tanking attempt. Obviously, since it happened in such a big match, people, there was a heated discussion about it and like whether this is okay to do, especially as it comes from one of the big three. Uh, Eventually, Federer won the next 2 sets, so I guess in a way it worked. Was it so important to tank there in order to not to give Nadal rhythm? I don't know. I think it was a decent tactical choice. But yeah, it was double breakdown. It was on grass as well. It was a bit different. I would say, generally speaking, maybe they can go for more because they feel like, okay, it's 40 love. I mean, now I can risk. Now there's no pressure. But straight up tanking, probably not. Oh, and Iju falls again, trying to chase down a Davidovich Fokina volley. So the newfound Twitter account Did Iju Fall already has 2 posts. Both of them would say yes, and then they would have a screenshot or something. However, did Fokina fall? At least from what from what I think, because maybe I missed a point or something, but I don't think Davidovich Fokina has been on the floor so far, so that account will not have as much fun. Trading backhands, yeah, this is a good ball for Iju to go down the line, but he misses it, so 3 match points for Davidovich Fokina after 69 minutes. I said that we might be here for an hour. The Asian Games has kind of ruined the Chinese events with none of the top Asians playing. Yeah, it's a shame that it is like this. Of course, this is not really the fault of the Asian Games schedulers, because, well, the Asian Games has like 50 different sports, and this is clearly the best season in order to organize, tournaments and sports events in Asia. However, I think that the ATP sort of could think about this in their calendar. At the same time, the Asian Games, it has to be such an entertaining event in terms of tennis. We have Qin Wenzheng and Lin Zhu, 2 top 35 players in the women's singles final, and also in the men's singles final, we have Ji Zhenzhang against Yosuke Watanuki. But yeah, I do think that it's a shame that it works like this in the year where the Asian games are held, because of the fact of the like the ATP calendar. They also have to skip 2 weeks instead of one. So, and yeah, that's it. That's done. 6-2, 6-2. Could have easily been 6-2, 6-3, 6-2, 6-4. But Iju did not take the 6 game points in game one, 6 game points in game 7 as well of the second set, which was a shame. But still, I think this is good experience for the youngster. As I mentioned, he's also gonna get a qualifying wildcard to the ATP 1000 in Shanghai. I hope he can have another good run there. And yeah, watch out for him in 2019 when he should hit the Pro Tour in like a bigger way. And probably at the beginning just ITF events, but then let's see what he does with his wildcards in the Asian swing, the Chinese swing of 2024. Remember that Nurlan thinks that Iga Świątek will finish the year at number 5 and that Jessica Pegula will win Tokyo. I said Maria Sakkari. And in terms of Beijing, definitely not going to win it, Iju, as he's out. Who's going to win it? I don't know. But, it's the players are saying that it's the most stacked ATP 500 they've ever seen. To me, I don't think it's, I think we've had similar ones, but still, it is definitely stacked. So keep watching that. Thank you for being in the chat. Kachanov Rublev are always fun to watch. I suppose that's doubles, right? Keen watches some very random doubles matches from time to time and then writes me about them. But that's good because I don't watch them, and then when there's a good story, I get to know that from him. Good story in the Asian games today in doubles was that Hong. I mean, that's not good for them, but Hong and Kwon are not going to win the gold medal, which means that they might have to do military service in South Korea, which is obviously quite a big hit for a tennis player because I think it's like 18 months. I think they have to do it until they somewhere before they finish 28 or something like that. When Mikael Immer got an 18 months ban, he actually decided to retire, at least for now. And yes, again, thank you for being here. Sorry that this match was not that long, but still a good chance to check out Iju, who I think has a lot of potential and definitely a Zhizhen sort of quality to him. See ya at some other streams. This is the cue for our producer to finish this up.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis. if there's one match from Rafa's story where you think that was a missed opportunity, there was a big chance there.
I have matches,
2
or 3 in Australian Open. No more. We lose the opportunity in Wimbledon against Djokovic in semi-final.
2018.
Then we lose the opportunity more important because that was semi-final. We lose the opportunity in Australian Open. In the Australian Open 2014, 2012 and 2017.
Yeah.
In 14 because he has an injury against Wawrinka that before he had never lose against him. Then with Djokovic and Federer, he had breakup in the fifth.
Yeah.
And 40-30 or 30-50, I don't remember well. It was a ball very close, goes up. But this is what happened. There was in Roland Garros 2009. Of course, he I am sure that he won. He will he won this tournament when he has no problems in his knee, because at this moment he was the best. He won Australian Open, then he won the tournaments on clay, and he arrived with problems in Roland Garros. For this reason, in my opinion, he lose. But there are others time that maybe he has to lose and he won.
You've been to the French Open final. Your breakthrough, at least standout result at the beginning of your career, was on grass against Venus. You've been very solid on the hard courts. Is there a slam in particular that you go, I think that's, if I'm going to get one, the first one might come here, there, or where?
Well, I don't know. I mean, everyone, I'm like, I think this is the first one. So I don't know. I mean, obviously now going to the French, I do have a lot of confidence on the surface. But I'm not really thinking about that. I feel like, in the past I was, and it gave me some like defeats that I feel like I shouldn't have lost, maybe more so my head. So going in now, I mean, I feel like, everyone could be the one, but I think I have to just take it a match at a time and just feel it out and enjoy it. I think when you focus too much on the destination, you don't enjoy the journey there. So now I want to focus more on the journey, and if the destination gets there, that's great.
Thanks for tuning into this watch along. While there's a break in play, here's a reminder to hit the like button, subscribe, and click that notification bell. Your support helps to keep the channel going. While we're here, you can now become a member to enjoy perks, including badges for the live chat, but also bonus material such as interviews with top players from both ATP and WTA tours. The membership link is pinned in the live chat. You can also follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. So whether it be serves or volleys, forehands or backhands, serve bots or drop shots, we've got you covered. Whether that be via our website, talking-tennis.com, where you can read features and interviews from our top writers. Or if you prefer us in audio form, you can subscribe to our podcast on Apple, Amazon, or Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from. Remember, we offer you wall-to-wall coverage via our regular watch-alongs, magazine shows such as Nick's WTA Weekly or Damien and Mario's ATP version. Plus, we deliver top content from people on the ground, actually at the tournaments, so you get even nearer to the action. So, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on all things tennis. There were some Australian Open final vibes for me today, and I was looking at a couple of comparisons. Australia was 2 hours 28 minutes, today was 2:26. I'm sure you weren't aware of that. But I tell you, 4 championship points, does that sound familiar? And were you thinking of it during that last game?
Actually, yes, I was thinking when I was down with the break in the last game, I was thinking, okay, I did it at the Australia Open, so probably I'll be able to get this win this time again, and it's actually helped me to stay focused and to have this belief in myself. And yeah, definitely this match reminds a lot of Australia Open match.
Thanks for tuning into this watch along. While there's a break in play, here's a reminder to hit the like button, subscribe and click that notification bell. Your support helps to keep the channel going. While we're here, you can now become a member to enjoy perks including badges for the live chat, but also bonus material such as interviews with top players from both ATP and WTA tours. The membership link is pinned in the live chat. You can also follow us on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. So whether it be serves or volleys, forehands or backhands, serve bots or drop shots, we've got you covered. Whether that be via our website, talking-tennis.com, where you can read features and interviews from our top writers. Or if you prefer us in audio form, you can subscribe to our podcast on Apple, Amazon or Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts from. Remember, we offer you wall-to-wall coverage via our regular watch-alongs, magazine shows such as Nick's WTA Weekly or Damien and Mario's ATP version. Plus, we deliver top content from people on the ground, actually at the tournaments, so you get even nearer to the action. So, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on all things tennis. Thanks for tuning into this watch along. While there's a break in play, here's a reminder to hit the like button, subscribe and click that notification bell. Your support helps to keep the channel going. While we're here, you can now become a member to enjoy perks including badges for the live chat, but also bonus material such as interviews with top players from both ATP and WTA tours. The membership link is pinned in the live chat. You can also follow us on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. So whether it be serves or volleys, forehands or backhands, serve bots or drop shots, we've got you covered. Whether that be via our website, talking-tennis.com, where you can read features and interviews from our top writers. Or if you prefer us in audio form, you can subscribe to our podcast on Apple, Amazon or Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from. Remember, we offer you wall-to-wall coverage via our regular watch-alongs, magazine shows such as Nick's WTA Weekly or Damien and Mario's ATP version. Plus, we deliver top content from people on the ground, actually at the tournaments, so you get even nearer to the action. So, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on all things tennis.
I'm talking about. Coco Gauff, a U.S. Open champion. That's what I'm talking about. Oh my God. Look at her. Look at her. Oh. Oh.
Get up, Coco Gauff. You just won the U.S. Open.
You've been to the French Open final. Your breakthrough, at least standout result at the beginning of your career, was on grass against Venus. You've been very solid on the hard courts. Is there a slam in particular that you go, I think that's, if I'm going to get one, the first one might come here, there, or where?
Well, I don't know. I mean, everyone, I'm like, I think this is the first one. So I don't know. I mean, obviously now going to the French, I do have a lot of confidence on this surface. But I'm not really thinking about that. I feel like, in the past I was, and it gave me some like defeats that I feel like I shouldn't have lost, maybe more so my head. So going in now, I mean, I feel like, everyone could be the one, but I think I have to just take it a match at a time and just feel it out and enjoy it. I think when you focus too much on the destination, you don't enjoy the journey there. So now I want to focus more on the journey, and if the destination gets there, that's great.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.